think we're just good to go. Yep. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday plenary. Let's get started. Interesting. Okay. That's okay. Right. Our usual reminders that we have a code of conduct, and if you experience or witness any violations of that code of conduct, please reach out to our code of conduct contacts. A reminder to check name tags for those stickers that indicate people's comfort levels with contact. Reminder that the lost and found is the registration desk, not the hotel front desk. A reminder to keep an eye out for social batteries and that there is a quiet room. It's the copper room is the quiet room for you if your battery runs low. Reminder for virtual participants to please stay muted, and for everyone in every room all day to always say things into the mic so that the virtual participants can hear you. Reminder today, right after the last session, you're going to exit your breakout room and you're going to head straight to the lobby for the group photo. As you can see in this picture, most people were wearing their t-shirts for the group photo. It is optional. And you can also tell from this photo that you're going to be looking for someone who's standing up a few levels, who's yelling down at you to get closer together or further apart or something. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're attending virtual, please do just send in a photo of you enjoying the talks from the comfort of your own home to ls.st/share so we can add you to the group photo. Tonight is the reception. It's at Gentle Ben's. Gentle Ben's is very close. You just go out the front door of the Marriott, you turn right, and it's right down the street. We have both floors of Gentle Ben's. There's both indoor and outdoor areas. There's standing area and seating area. There's a bar both on floor 1 and floor 2, and there's lots of staff, and everyone has 2 drink tickets in their meeting badge. Gentle Ben staff said they're okay with you arriving early. So they said 5:30 is fine. They will be ready. So officially it starts at 6, but feel free to wander over right after the group photo. All right, today's plenary is jam-packed. We're going to start with a talk from Beth Willman on behalf of LSST Discovery Alliance. Then we're going to be doing the lightning stories. You're going to be hearing from 4 members of the Reuben community about their life. And then we will do the student poster flash talks where you will hear from all our wonderful students, little 30-second teasers for the posters that are on display, mostly today, but also tomorrow. We're not really pausing for questions today because it's kind of jam-packed. We're just going to go straight through it. But all of the speakers, they're in the Slack channel. Join the Slack channel for today's plenary, and you can ask questions in there and they'll get answered after that speaker is done. And that's it. We're going to switch over to LSST-DA. So let's welcome Beth to the stage.
Go and then you'll pass it on to Steph. Perfect. Thanks so much, Melissa. Well, good morning to everybody in the room, and good morning, afternoon, evening, and everything in between to those of you who are joining us remotely. Whoa, why is it playing? Stop. Hold on one hot second. I'll go ahead and get started, and if somebody can help this not play automatically, that would be amazing. To enter full screen. Maybe we accidentally put it on slideshow. Anyway. I'm going to tell you, what is LSST Discovery Alliance? Why do we do what we do? What are we doing? And how can you hear more about it in other sessions over the course of this week? Everything I'm talking about is the product of a lot of people's work. And in particular, I list the names of my other staff colleagues here on the slide. So this is especially on behalf of Susan Boatwright, Elizabeth Hiley, Tu Nguyen, Amanda Preston, Jenna Sokolowski, and Andrew Sterner. Most of us are here today. So as a brief primer for folks that aren't familiar with us, why do we have a table out here? So LSST Discovery Alliance is the doing business as name for LSST Inc. And we were incorporated in 2003 in Arizona, founded by Research Corporation, University of Arizona, University of Washington, and NOAO, ORA at the time, in order to design, develop, and really launch and carry out what was then known as the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope. And today we're a privately funded nonprofit that works very closely with the science collaborations and with a project to position the global community to make the most out of the discovery possibilities with Reuben's LSST. And so Discovery Alliance alludes to the fact that we're a global alliance of today we're 40 academic and research institutions around the globe, a like-minded community that comes together, collaborates together, participates in the programs I'll be talking about together, but a lot of what I'm talking about is available to everyone, not just to our member institutions. And so I'm going to start at the end in case you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, I've heard all this amazing things about what the Rubin Project is doing to position the global community for success. And I've heard all these wonderful things about how the science collaborations are doing that too. What are you adding? What's different about the Discovery Alliance? What are your goals? How's that complementary? And so our goal is to build on the shoulders and learn from all of that work that is being done, right? The Rubin Project's combination of the technical marvel of the facility, the open data, and the community-centered way that the entire project, survey, and data delivery is being defined really sets up limitless possibilities. And we're here to try to maximize that opportunity space that the project has created. So our goal is to really greatly multiply the scientific impact and discoveries of Rubin's LSST. And the potential here isn't just within the astrophysics community, right? The sort of structures that have been set up over the years that are being done in the science collaborations that we're trying to build and model will have impact and can influence big data science in global fields in a wide range of areas. So what's our approach to doing this? So from input from, again, the project, science collaborations, member institutions over the years, we've coalesced around 3 key pillars that we contemplate our programs that we offer to you around, and that's basically tools, training, and networks. So software engineering, data computation, tools and support, training and skill building so that, everyone from undergraduates to senior scientists are ready to tackle science in a big data era, right? The sort of volume that we've all been hearing about, the data rate that we've all been hearing about is not like anything almost anyone in this room or joining remotely has figured out how to deal with to date. And then the networks. As we heard I think it was Alex Malls gave an introduction to science collaborations at the session yesterday. The sort of opportunities and science questions that Rubin's poised to answer aren't the sort of things that you do by a single person in a single institution anymore. And so networks are more important than ever to maximize science. And so here's a slide. I'm not going to go through this eye chart in detail, but it presents our current suite of programs by focus area. And some of these you'll see as familiar names that, again, I'll point you to other sessions. You'll hear more about them. And some of these are planned future programs that we're still seeking launch funding for. And so a number of you in the room are familiar with the concept of LINC, the LSST Interdisciplinary Network for Collaboration and Computing, and the Extraordinary Link Frameworks project is the first major initiative to adopt that name. And you have been hearing and will continue to hear about the transformational impact Link Frameworks is having. Led by Jenna Sokolowski, who's the director of Link and our chief scientist, there's a number of institutions in addition to Carnegie Mellon and the University of Washington, which is where the Link Frameworks program is based, led by Jeremy Kubica, Andy Connolly, and Rachel Mandelbaum. We also have Northwestern University, which is home to the Data Science Fellowship Program, which has been ongoing for a number of years. We recently have added University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign and NCSA, and their concept for a Link Center for Collaborative Computing, Las Cumbres Observatory, and their concept for coordinating follow-up observations with a global community and adding resources. Rachel Street gave an excellent talk yesterday at the time domain session. And then training and student-focused initiatives based at ENAF, and Columbia University, CUNY, and Rutgers, focusing on both undergraduates and graduate students that are still in the development phases. So I don't want you to think that we're like conceiving of these programs in a siloed way. One of the key characteristics, LINK, it's both an acronym and a word that's evocative of how we link our activities together. And so the major programs that have been placed for several years, since the last time 2 years ago, I was talking to you from the stage, are the Catalyst Fellowship, a postdoctoral program, again led by Jenna Sokolowski, Link Frameworks, ambitious software delivery program. Again, I refer to the CMU and University of Washington PIs, and that Data Science Fellowship program. And we strive to connect all of our programs together to amplify their impact for the scientists that participate in them. And so last year, for example, was the first time we brought folks from all 3 of these flagship initiatives together in one place in one time, had cross-disciplinary hack days, had folks, mentoring each other, learning from each other, and building, lifelong connections, scientific connections to carry forward. Now, you're going to hear about a lot of those things again later in the session, but I want to spend one slide on a small program of ours, right? So the programs I just highlighted are from, tens of thousands of dollars in scale to millions of dollars in scale, quite a wide dynamic range. Things that, traditional federal funding streams aren't really a good fit for. But one thing that we've had some great results from on the very small end is this Child Care Grant Awards, Child Care Support Program we're doing in collaboration with IceCube. And in just a 2-year period of time, 56 grants were made to individuals, men and women, people independent of their identity, their career stage, across 4 continents, from just $60 to $4,000, to lower the barrier of participation to people with caregiving responsibilities, to really make sure that we're not losing people at that key point in their career where they may be having caregiving responsibilities for young children. I hope to soon be able to have some good news and an announcement about continuing and expanding that program for a few years to come, but we're not there quite yet. We have a number of Catalyst postdoctoral fellows giving science and technical talks this week. They're summarized here. These slides are available on the page for this session if you'd like to take a look. Jalon Lee at Ritra Ghosh, Samaya Kakpash, and Carrie Holt. They're all going to be giving fantastic talks over the next 4 days at a wide range of sessions, and you can see them here. There's a few specific LSST-DA specific sessions this week. I just want to deep dive into a couple of them so that you can decide if it's going to be a good fit for you. In addition to getting to hear from every single one of our students in our undergraduate summer student program later in this plenary, after the plenary session, we have most of the day-long session on workshop on expanding urban science through collaborative networks and undergraduate research. And then tomorrow morning, there's a session on software and tools for data analysis with a combination of contributed and invited talks about a number of things. So first, hopping into expanding urban science. If you're like, what is this about? Should I go to it? If you're interested in this context where early career students and researchers are really the future and present leaders of urban science, diverse teams produce more innovative and well-cited science, and brilliance is everywhere, but opportunity is not. This may be a session that you're interested to come and participate in. We'll hear from Mark Pitts, the Rubin Undergraduate Network, Jesse Mason from Henry Ford Community College about the amazing work that he has done there, and about one of the LSST Discovery Alliance expansion partner examples from Leslie Hebb and John Bochansky. We'll also hear about the Rubin Delegates Program, the Data Science Fellowship Program, the Catalyst Fellowship and Alliance, and the Summer Student Program in Dark Energy School and the undergraduate work with that. And in between these 2 sessions, for participants in the workshop, we'll have a hosted lunch right there in Sabino. So please join us, make new collegial connections, and talk about these concepts. Tomorrow, we're going to hear from Jeremy Kubica, the technical software engineering lead of the Link Frameworks team. It is just makes my heart glow to see the extent to which their work has impacted early science with data preview on. It's really extraordinary. And the team did an incredible job at the Hack Week, which we'll also hear about in a report out. I must confess the thing that I'm most excited about right now is something that we're calling Project Dovetail, and ways to accelerate science through high-touch, well-curated engagements between you, the scientist, and expert software engineers, brokered by those unicorns, those solution architects who speak both languages. Maybe they got a graduate degree in astronomy, went into industry and software engineering. And some of you may be sitting here thinking, oh gosh, I could really use software engineering support. I don't know how to get it. My code doesn't run fast enough. It's broken. Some of you may be sitting here thinking, that's nice. Maybe somebody needs that. You probably need this too, and you don't yet realize it. We found that when, for example, Destry Saul, who's here and will be at the session giving the talk tomorrow, spend 20 minutes with him, letting him know what your research is like. I bet you're going to think, oh my gosh, with 10 hours of somebody's time, you're going to let me focus on science, and I'm going to get to my science results a whole lot faster. Really excited about this. You might think it's been done before, and it hasn't. Please come listen tomorrow and join us for lunch after this session if you're interested to talk more. And so before I walk off stage, I have a very brief and easy call to action here. This isn't performative. I actually want to know the answer to this. So please sit there and think about, I've said a lot of things, right? LSST-DA used to be LSST Corporation. I'm really interested to see how many people in this room, and if you're online, you can put it in the Slack chat, have received funding, have participated in a summer student program, have ever been on our board of directors, have been a member representative, are a staff member, have some way, you've done a frameworks incubator, work in one of these programs, data science fellow, any of the things. Are you a mentor for a Catalyst fellow? Please indulge me and stand up so we can see. I want to know what fraction of people we're reaching now to help me know how far we have to go to reach our goals. Jesse, you're not standing up. Oh, the students who are sitting here should all be standing up. You are here because you are part of the summer student program. Okay, thank you. So we have a little ways to go, but I couldn't be more happy to see how many folks that we've been able to reach out to so far. Everything I talked about is largely being funded by this set of foundations. Today, we cannot thank them enough. We are all soft money. Our money comes from these foundations, individual philanthropists, and member institution dues. I'm soft money. All of my staff are soft money. Every single program you are hearing about is soft money. And so we're busting our butts to do what we can to learn from all of you, see how we can best pursue resources to reach that goal of really multiplying the incredible opportunity that the Rubin team and the NSF and DOE investment has provided. Thank you. I can't wait to talk to you for the rest of the week. Steph Depa is who we're going to hear from next. Is this you here, Lightning Stories? Okay, good. I'll let you display the.
Good. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Depa. I am the astronomy content strategist for the Rubin Education and Public Outreach team. And one of the things that EPO organizes during this workshop every year is the 2020. Well, not this year is the 2025 Lightning Stories, but the Lightning Stories are an initiative that we run every year as a way for you all to get to meet a few of your colleagues in a little more detail, I guess, and a little more fun. These are very informal talks. We have 4 speakers today who will each spend about 5 minutes telling you about themselves, both in a work capacity, what they do for Rubin, but also outside of work. And so this is a chance to get to know a few of your colleagues. We won't take any questions or anything in between the speakers. This will be pretty rapid fire, but I really encourage you, if you want to talk to one of our speakers after this session today, to come and find them and ask them some questions. So today we have 4 speakers. We'll hear from Alana Urbach, Sarah Greenstreet, Alejandra Munoz Arancibia, and Sasha Persad. So I'll hand it over to Alana to start.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ilana Urbach. I'm a commissioning scientist at Harvard University, and I joined Rubin in 2021. The story of my research has been nanoscale to gigascale. So in 2021, I received a PhD in physics from Harvard University. My research was in quantum sensing, and that really meant I shot lasers at diamonds. We had quantum sensors in the diamonds, and we used them to perform NMR on materials of interest that we put on the surface. Then after I got my PhD, I switched to astronomy. I started a postdoc on working on Rubin with Chris Stubbs at Harvard. You can see here my first trip to Chile in 2022 when only Oxtel was running and we were still wearing masks. And then basically, so what I did is I switched from microscopes to telescopes. In 2023, I became a systems scientist for Rubin. And basically now what I do is I shoot lasers at our telescope. So my work at Rubin right now is mostly focused on commissioning. I have 2 areas that I'll talk about. One is photometric calibration, so our calibration hardware, and in particular, our collimated beam projector, which we use to project artificial stars onto LSST-CAM. So you can see our collimated beam projector, or CBP, is actually mounted on the dome. We can point it at the telescope, and we can take images of calibrated spots on our detectors. And so now, instead of working on lasers in a lab, I take a man lift up and work on the lasers in the dome. And the other work that I do is on image quality, finding and mitigating sources of image degradation, and basically making all of our images sharper. If you're interested in any of these topics or others related to commissioning, please check out the commissioning sessions on Thursday and Friday. There's a lot of material there. Now for some fun facts. One is that a family of Viscaches has recently taken up residence at the observatory. So one of the really fun things is going back and forth to the cafeteria and looking for Viscaches. You can see one trying to eat some flowers here, not fully successfully. And then more about me, a few facts. I really love making bad art. I like making prints. I turn the prints into lamps that look kind of cool when you shine light through them, but not that cool. I also do a lot of tin casting. This is supposed to be an octopus. Maybe someday I'll get better at this, but not yet. I love hiking, running, and generally being outdoors. That's one of the most amazing things about being at the observatory. I also, when I was in grad school, I went rafting in the Grand Canyon, spent 3 weeks rafting through the whole thing. It was amazing. Here's, I'm in the, have the red helmet on. You can see us going into a hole and then flipping. And like in that moment, you really hope you like tied your bags on properly that morning. And I think we did. I think there were kind of a lot of life lessons there that have been like helpful for commissioning. Sometimes things happen. But you know what? It all works out in the end, and there's smoother waters and smoother sailing. And really, it's been totally incredible, completely incredible to work on Rubin during this period. So thanks.
All right, it's a hard act to follow. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Greenstreet. I'm an assistant astronomer at NORALab. I'm based here in Tucson, but I work remotely from Seattle, where I'm also an affiliate professor of astronomy at the University of Washington. I officially joined Rubin in 2023, but I have been actively involved with the Solar System Science Collaboration since 2018. I am a solar system astronomer or planetary scientist. Broadly speaking, I study orbital dynamics, characterization, and sometimes impacts of small body populations across the solar system, ranging from near-Earth objects out to the Kuiper Belt and those objects impacting Pluto. My favorite question for getting to try to answer in my research when I get the rare opportunity to do so is, how did that get there? I'm really interested in the most extreme outliers and edge cases of small bodies within the solar system. Some of this work a few years ago led me to the discovery that asteroid orbits can actually flip upside down, making those asteroids orbit the sun backwards. So pretty fun discovery. We now know that not just comets can go backwards around the sun, but sometimes asteroids can too. And more recently, I've been having a lot of fun getting to play with Rubin data, as I'm sure lots of you have. Tomorrow, I will be sharing some first science results from the Rubin First Look Solar System object discoveries at the RFL and DP1 show and tell session. There's a little teaser plot up here for you. I also put my kind of career path from grad school to now on here. I won't go through everything, but I will say that I very much appreciate all of the positions that I've held, and particularly all of the people that I've been able to work with along the way. So what I do for Rubin, 50% of my time at NORALab is doing research, but the other 50% is getting to work as a member of the Rubin Community Science team. I am the only solar system person on the CST, so the vast majority of the solar system tutorials and documentation and solar system related questions that go up on the community forum, I'm responsible for putting most of those together and answering those questions. So if you have questions about the solar system data products or processing, I'm a good person to ask. I'm also excuse me, a member of the Solar System Commissioning Science Unit, helping to validate some of the data products and processing that happens on the solar system side. And as I mentioned, I've been a part of the Solar System Science Collaboration for the last 7 years. The last 6 years of which I've been the lead for the Near Earth Objects and Interstellar Objects Working Group, getting to do things like providing feedback on cadence optimization, keeping solar system science in mind, and I co-led the science case that was put together for the LSST Target of Opportunity program as well last year. To add some fun facts about myself as well. 2 things. The first is kind of a random but cool thing. I am the 7th generation in my family to grow up in my small hometown in southwestern Washington state, where my family owns one of the oldest standing houses in the state of Washington that was built by my great-great-great-great-grandparents who came over on the Oregon Trail in 1850. So random, but pretty cool. I can't talk about my family without also mentioning my wonderful husband and my 2 amazing kids. To those of you who know me, I'm a pretty generally quiet and reserved person, but that's not usually the case when I'm with my kids. They're pretty much my heart and soul walking around this earth as their own little people. So I just love them to death. I also really love getting to share my love of space with them. They're at that amazing age where they want to know everything about everything. And so the questions that they ask most every day just completely blow me away. I'm pretty sure they're way smarter than I am. Especially my oldest. My youngest also has now taken to doing the Jelko dance anytime she's excited about anything after seeing the video a few weeks ago, especially if it's space related. So the Jelko dance is a thing that happens in our house quite often these days. I also really enjoy getting to visit my kids' classes at school, getting to share my experience as a scientist, the cool science I've done, science I'm excited to be able to do with Ruben as well, and talking to them about what science is, how scientists do science, and just trying to train the next generation of young scientists. So just a few things about me. Thank you for letting me share with you all. I'm more than happy to chat. So if you see me around this week, please feel free to stop me and say hi. Thanks.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Alejandra Muñoz Arancibia. I'm an astronomer. I'm currently the LSST broker data scientist. This is a position that is funded by the Millennium Institute of Astrophysics, MAS. And I'm based on the Center for Mathematical Modeling in Santiago, Chile. I joined this team in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. And 2 years later, I became also a member of the Rubin Users Committee who brought me here. So in short, what I do for the LSST broker is to help the team to develop tools for the Rubin era. These tools are for exploration, analysis, and discovery. And I also help the scientists to use them by using these services. So most of the time you will find me like that, looking to the interfaces and doing database queries. And my duties in this include, for instance, quality assurance of our web interfaces, our machine learning classifiers, our databases, also communicate in all directions between the LSST groups, between the astronomers, the machine learning experts, and also the engineers that put all this in place. Also, I'm in charge of the training set curation, and I usually prepare tutorials for the users and also support the research in our team. And mostly on working days, I'm reporting transient candidates based on one of our classifiers to the transient name server. And so in all these years, I've seen a lot of observational data doing this work, mostly from the Zwicky Transient Facility public alert stream. So there is a lot of room for serendipity in this. In this regard, one of my favorite discoveries is this object, that's the name there. And this object was one of our transient candidates that we reported to TNS. We reported in 2021. And I found this object while doing some analysis of these reports in 2022. I noticed that the light started to do some weird oscillations. So we started to follow it in LSST and also with external collaborators. That is in the nucleus of a galaxy that was classified as an active galactic nucleus. And upon following it, we now think this could be a binary supermassive black hole that is disrupting a gas cloud. This galaxy is also in a pair, so it could be even a triple system. So this is quite cool. And more about me, I'm from the north of Chile. I was born in Antofagasta, but I also lived in La Serena and Valparaíso and mostly in Santiago. I chose to study and continue my career fully in Chile, and happily I've been able to do so. And actually my first approach to Rubin was during my PhD. Before arriving to LSST, I didn't work in the time domain at all. I was working during my PhD on galaxy formation simulations, and this, I'm showing you an icon that we made available for the desk collaboration. I belong to the Diaguita people of Chile from the Valle de Huasco in the Atacama region. And I'm showing you several pictures of that place. Diaguita is one of the native communities in Chile. And among the things that I enjoy, cats and dogs, cumbia and caporal, also sharing memes and the classic Simpson quotes. And that's about me. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sasha. I'm a junior software engineer on the Rubin Education and Public Outreach team. And I joined at the most exciting possible time, 3 months before first look in March. So my journey to Rubin it's a pretty short one because this is my first role after undergrad. Um, I went to school at Rochester Institute of Technology in New York. I have a degree in software engineering and a minor in geographic information systems. While I was in undergrad, despite COVID's best efforts, I managed to get 3 internships, and I mostly did work in like the energy and power distribution and infrastructure sort of sphere, so very different from astronomy. I wrapped up undergrad with a research trip to Rwanda. I put my GIS minor to work, and I did research on flood and landslide risk resilience there. So Rwanda, fun fact, Rwanda is known as the land of 1,000 hills. But the con to those hills is that all of those steep grades are like the prime environment for disaster during the wet season. So what I did is I designed and administered surveys to locals all over. I basically went out into the field and visited sites with a lot of destruction, and we took location data as well as information about the structures that were damaged, the materials that they were made with, and stuff like that. And then we made visualizations, aka maps, to present to the Rwandan Ministry of Emergency Management, MINEMA. Yeah. With that, I wrapped up undergrad in May of 2024. I interviewed for Rubin the following November, joined up in March, and I've been here ever since. So a day in my life as a software engineer at Rubin EPO. So what I do, are you laughing at the GIF? Yeah. I develop and support projects that get Rubin data in the hands of the public in fun, engaging, beautiful, sometimes educational ways. So what that looks like is since I've been here, I've made some small contributions, such as fixing the pagination component on our gallery page. If you haven't been there yet, rubinobservatory.org, go look at the pretty pictures from First Look. And also some bigger, more complex contributions like implementing the backend architecture, which serves up data to our SkySynth tool. If you haven't heard of SkySynth or the term sonification yet, that's okay. If you go to skyviewer.app and click the listen button at the bottom center of the page, it'll bring you to this view where you can look at stars, but you can also listen to them. So SkySynth is a interactive sonification tool which maps the image data, like the color and the brightness of the astronomical objects, to sound attributes like pitch and volume. So yeah, some of the things I had to consider while I was working on that were like how to keep the embargoed image secure before, while we were developing. We wanted to put it into Skyviewer, but we didn't want anybody else to see it. Also, how to maybe manage requests efficiently when people inevitably, like you guys, go check it out and start like going buck wild, like zooming and listening to the sounds and panning all over. So yeah, it was very cool. I'm very proud to have worked on that. And if you're interested in learning more about it, they are going to demo SkySynth tomorrow at 1:30 at the First Look DP1 show and tell session. Otherwise, my day-to-day has just a lot of whiteboarding sessions, diagramming, of course, coding, asking a lot of questions and asking them again in different wording, and then getting myself into really crazy situations trying to version control my code, which, if you don't know what version control is or GitHub, that's okay, because the GIF does describe it pretty much perfectly. All right, and some fun facts. So I'm a huge foodie. If you are a Tucson local and you're also a huge foodie and you're sitting on some recommendations, come find me and give them to me. I have a whole album in my phone dedicated to the food pretty much all the food that I make and eat. So I'm Indo-Caribbean. I'm a first generation Guyanese American. I love to mention that because I don't find a lot of like Indo-Caribbean, people of Indo-Caribbean or Afro-Caribbean descent in like STEM spaces. So it's really cool. That's a little like home movie I made of clips that I took on my first and only trip to Guyana. So yeah, it's a beautiful country. I used to be musically inclined. I'm no longer musically inclined, but I try to stay involved by volunteering at this local youth and music art performance space called Groundworks. It's a nonprofit. If you're into like DIY or alternative or just sort of scrappy music, you should go and support the kids, support the kids. And then also I have a very like, how I found Rubin is a very like serendipitous story to me, kind of fateful. Last year, the Grace Hopper conference, the biggest women in tech conference, happened to be in Philadelphia, which is like 2 hours from my home, and it's where one of my sisters lived. So I was only able to go because of that. It was so close. And I was going because I was looking for a job after graduation. And I happened, not even on the expo floor, not while I was like, waiting in the line to talk to Amazon and everything. It happened the first day of the conference. I happened to go to this like Latin American and Caribbean like culture group. There was a table of probably maybe only 6 other women. And I happened to pull up a chair and sit down next to Hannah Creighton, who's a software developer down in Chile. And we chatted. We did not chat about jobs. We didn't chat about like anything having to do with like looking for a job. But at the end of the session, she turns to me. She says, "Are you looking for a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And she was like, "Here's my card. We're gonna have a position opening in like 2 months. Just I'll message you." And lo and behold, like a month and a half later, I get a LinkedIn message from her, and she directly sent me the job posting. I wouldn't have known about Ruben otherwise. So she kind of, I owe a lot of like my trajectory of ending up here to her. So, so very cool. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for listening.
Morning, everybody. My name is Ryan Oakers. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, and I get the unique pleasure of introducing to you all the students who are presenting posters at the conference this week. I am the director of the LSST-DA undergraduate student summer program, where we provide an opportunity for the students to come fully paid to the RCW. They are able to present their work, network with a bunch of great scientists, which are you all, and we also allow them to go on things like tours of NORLab's machine shop, as well as the Mirror Lab. We also have a very dedicated breakout session later today, which is going to be talking about career pathways for students. It's not just open to students, it's open to anyone. We have a great panel of scientists, engineers, graduate students, postdocs, professors, sort of all across the different spectrum of jobs in astronomy. They're going to be talking about how they got there and sort of where to go. So today, what you're going to be hearing are a bunch of 30-second pitches from about 24 undergraduate and graduate students on their LSST and Ruben-related research. I want to remind you that the posters are up in 2 groups, Monday and Tuesday of this week, and then also Wednesday and Thursday. The dedicated poster sessions are going to be from 3 until 3:30. If at any point you're interested in talking about the Discovery Alliance's student program, please find me. I'd be happy to talk to you. So just before we start, though, normally to kind of settle the nerves of the students, I'd make some kind of joke, but it turns out I'm not very funny. So instead, what I'm going to do is end on a high note. If you're involved with undergraduate or graduate student research, you know that the past 6 months have been a little bit difficult. A lot of programs have lost funding or had to be minimized in some way. So it was very, very encouraging to me earlier this spring when Beth called me and said that not only were we able to continue the summer program this summer, but we were going to be able to figure out a way to double the size from the cohort we had last year. So I really think that that is a highlight not only of LSST-DA, but the wonderful Ruben community and the support that everyone here tends to the students that are here. So without further ado, I'll stop talking myself and we'll bring up the students.
Hi, my name is Lyric Batista. I'm a rising senior at Lehman College in New York. I'm working with Georgios Fernardos at the American Museum of Natural History on gravitational lensing. More specifically, I'm working with quasar microlensing and reconstructing accretion disk images of microlens quasars. So we can actually see some motivation for my project here. I have some very simple mock sample profiles for AGN, and we can see that they actually each produce their own signature light curve. From this light curve data, we can use matrix algebra to reconstruct our accretion disk images, actual accretion disk images from our light curves. And if you have any more questions, you can ask me at my poster.
Hi, I'm Daniel Cano Morales from the University of La Laguna in Spain. And in collaboration with the Institute of Astrophysics of the Canary Islands, I'm learning on select the best superluminous supernova candidates using the sweet transient facility and the LSST brokers for follow-up programs. And if you know more about my job, come to my poster.
Hi, my name is Sarah Gelvin. I'm a rising junior at the University of Pittsburgh. I've been doing my summer work with Michael Woodvasey. And my research question, more or less, was how can we more accurately calibrate for precipitable water vapor at Rubin to better measure dark energy through type 1 supernova? And we found that a dual band receiver, which the antenna is installed at Rubin, can measure satellite positioning, which can then be processed through a software called GLab, which gives us the zenith time delay, which can then pretty much directly measure precipitable water vapor, and we can calibrate from there.
Hello, my name is Alex Huff. I'm a rising third year at the Georgia Institute of Technology. And this summer, I've been working with Dr. Olkers at the Physics RU at UTRGV on optimizing ground-based surveys and follow-up of LSST flag variables. So this top chart just shows that we were able to fully recover the variability of a known R. Lyrae CO tuck within only 7 observations in one night. So if any of this research sounds interesting, please feel free to find me at my poster, and I'd love to talk to you about it.
Hi, I'm Grayson Klein. I was working with Emily Leiner at the Illinois Institute of Technology, looking at synergies between Gaia and LSST data, looking for sun-like stars in open clusters in the Milky Way. And I was able to get a sample of 354 open clusters that'll be ideal to look at to get joint analysis between Gaia and LSST data, to get a more complete and precise sampling of those fainter cluster members. So yeah, come see me at my poster later.
Hi, everyone. My name is Colin. I'm a recent graduate from Rutgers University. Today, I'm presenting a poster on the supernova 2023 QOV. It is a normal type 1A supernova that we have great data of from the early time, from survey-based data, to the very late time, about a year post its explosion, when we have 2 epochs of near spec and MIRI spectra from JWST, which reveals some clues into the explosion mechanisms and trend systems behind type 1A supernovae. So if you're interested in those, come see me at my poster.
Hello, guys. My name is Theo Monke. I'm a recent graduate from San Diego State University. My advisor is Dr. Robert Quimby, and our research goal was to find out the volumetric rate for supernova type 1A in host galaxies of dwarf and giant galaxies. We got some rates, and we also got some interesting stuff from the ZTF, BTS survey. If you want to know more, please come to my poster. Thank you, guys.
Hello, my name is Erin Nathoff. I'm a rising sophomore at Illinois Institute of Technology, and I did my research this summer at Northwestern University under Vic Dong and Wenfei Fong. And my research this summer was to figure out how to include LSST data into her previous work of cross-matching supernova with fast radio bursts. And although we have not found any within DP1, the goal, since there will be overlap with when Rubin data comes out, we will hope to find more transients that will align with fast radio bursts. If you have any more questions, you can find me on my poster this afternoon.
Hello, my name is Alexis Ortiz. I am a rising junior at the Illinois Institute of Technology. My research focused on tidal disruption events, or TDEs, and the effects non-standard parameter values have on our modeling that is used to identify them. I did this research through Northwestern University with my advisor, Ghani Halevi. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashley Ortiz. I recently graduated at Purdue University. I have been working with Dr. Kyung-Soo Lee. We're interested in identifying and classifying protoclusters at high redshift. We have developed a 3D reconstruction methodology to identify filaments and protoclusters using Lyman alpha emitters, and we'd like to tie in Lyman break galaxies. On the right is an example of one of the largest protoclusters we have identified in the Cosmos field. If you're interested in learning more, please come to my poster. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brittany Shaver. I'm a second-year master's student at San Jose State University. I spent the summer working with Agnes and Andreas at SLAC on measuring 3 effects in the LSST CCDs, the tree rings, midline break and edge effects, seeing what difference they have between the bands, the different types of CCDs, and if these have a measurable impact in regimes like weak lensing. Thank you.
So, hi everyone, my name is Luigi. I'm from Linha, Brazil. Linha is responsible for the Brazilian in-kind contribution to LSST. And my work is about a LSB-based pipeline to combine multiple spectroscopic catalogs and solve duplicates between them. This is very important to make training sets, and that those training sets will later be used to train machine learning algorithms to, for example, to estimate photometric redshift. So if you want to know more, please come see my poster.
Hello, I'm Wiktoria Stefanowska. I'm currently attending my bachelor's studies at Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań. And lately I've been simulating asteroid phase curves to check if it's possible to detect the phase coloring effect in LSST data. So if you want to know more about that, please come see me at my poster.
Hi, I'm Quinn Sullivan. I go to Penn State and I work with Neil Brandt. I used aperture photometry and SED fitting to determine the nature of the only X-ray source in the Chandra Deep Field South catalog. If you want to learn more, come see my poster.
Hi, my name is Anastasia Wei. I recently graduated from Northwestern University and I'm heading to UC Berkeley in the fall. Working with Adam Miller and Steve Schultz at Northwestern University, I've been looking at strict envelopes progenitor channels by using local host galaxy environmental properties, specifically surface color and surface brightness. We found that type 1c supernovae prefer regions of higher surface brightness than all other supernova subtypes, hinting at distinct progenitor channels. If you want to learn more, come talk to me at my poster.
Hi, hello, my name is Rui, and I just recently graduated from the University of Toronto. Pooh. So my project is about looking at complex molecules and its relationships to core stability. And results-wise, I'll leave it to you to come and look for me. And if you want to take a break from optical astronomy, you can come look for me as well. So yeah, come find me at my poster.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kelly Zyko. I'd like to start by thanking the Heisen-Simon Foundation and the LSST Discovery Alliance for allowing myself, my young children, my friend and colleague, Christina Tobin, to be here today. I work along Dr. Charles Liu at the College of Staten Island, where we work on galaxy evolution. Currently, we are working on observing changes in magnitude and color in E+A galaxies. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zach from San Jose State University, working under Aaron Romanowski. So we're trying to find star clusters near dwarf galaxies. And this is a pretty interesting dwarf galaxy in the local group that we're able to use Euclid and HSC imaging to visually find in order to do follow-up spectroscopy at Keck in order to get these quantities. And this galaxy is interesting because there's maybe some evidence pointing towards its rotation being different in the past. So we're trying to figure that out. If you want to learn more, come talk to me at my poster.
Hello, I'm Erin Clark, and in my first year of graduate school at Northern Arizona University, we have discovered comet-like activity in some main belt asteroids. This is archival ZTF data, and we use the Solar System Notification Alert Processing System broker to achieve this, as well as machine learning and PSF comparisons. So If you want to talk about how we plan on doing this for LSST, come find me Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Bernie Reed Huachaya. I'm a grad student at Stanford University, and I'm originally from Chile. But today I'm not gonna be presenting about my PhD research. I'm actually bringing this issue, which is I've been trying to think how many Chileans are part of, the Rubin community, and in particular from DESC, which is a science collaboration I'm part of. And sadly, what we find is that the participation is actually really low. This arises for different reasons. So in my poster, I identify systematic problems that I've raised historically and lately that have not allowed Chileans to be part of Rubin completely. But I'm pretty confident that we can work throughout the 10-year survey to change this. And please come to me if you're interested to talk about this.
Hello, I'm Natalia Plitskova from Drexel University, working with Niharika Shravan. I built a machine learning model to forecast kilonova light curve from low latency data for Rubin and ZTF. These forecasts can help prioritize follow-up observations. Moving forward, we are building reinforcement learning engine to optimize follow-up observations. Please come talk to me if you're interested in fast and intelligent follow-up. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Holden Truman. I'm an undergraduate at the Milwaukee School of Engineering under my advisor, Adam Wright. And currently I'm looking at how we can use space-based imaging to identify previously unrecognized blends in ground-based imaging in order to reduce galaxy cluster mass measurement uncertainties due to blending. If you'd like to hear more, come talk to me at my poster. Thank you.
All right, I think that's all the students. Why don't we give them all one more round of applause? And that ends the plenary. So thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great conference.